I just want to read through this little engagement that I'm having here with Gemini. We're talking about power players. Started off with Hannibal, and now we've got all the way into comparing the Mongols and the United States. Um, and Gemini points out that the Mongols and the United States have had different motivational factors, that varied or different because of time and all kinds of different stuff like that. And I basically said I don't think there's a difference between the Mongols and the United States. Americans, Mongols and Americans. And I mean, they're both humans, and it's all about controlling people is my primary thing. The movement of people, controlling the movement of people. And then while I was writing it, just to be a little more, I don't know, what is that word? Like feisty. Um, it's all about controlling the movement of human beings in today's versions with advertising, as they call it. Because again, English is designed to hurt you, the way it's designed. Okay, so advertising hurts you. Period. The only reason you don't think it hurts you is because you think of it as advertising. So, anyways, even as because I studied Marshall McLuhan, I was able to put the connection together, which would be critics would say is sociopathic. But putting the connections together in the movement, the control, my principal definition of empire is or imperial motives. Fascism is the control of the movement of people. I've had that for at least 10 years now. And this is the first time ever that I associated that with advertising. Because when you think about it, advertising is all about getting people to move their eyeballs. So now let's get into this. This is what I want. Primary point. Gemini, you raised a fascinating point. While the methods and scales of control have evolved dramatically, the fundamental human desire for power and influence remains constant. The Mongol Empire exerted its control through military might and territorial expansion, while modern powers often employ economic, political, and cultural influence. The role of advertising in shaping consumer behavior and influencing societal trends is undeniable. It's a powerful tool that can manipulate perceptions and drive consumer choices. However, it's important to recognize that individuals still possess agency and can critically evaluate the message they receive. It's a complex interplay between individual autonomy and societal forces. While corporations and governments may attempt to shape our choices, ultimately, the power to resist and make formal decisions lies with each individual. I like this quote when talking about advertising. Quote, ads are not meant for conscious consumption. Period. Ads seem to work on the very advanced principle that a small pellet or pattern in a noisy, redundant barrage of repetition will gradually assert itself. Ads push the principle of noise all the way to the plateau of persuasion. Close quote. Understanding Media, Marshall McLuhan, 1964, chapter Ads. Gemini. That's a powerful quote from Marshall McLuhan. It offers profound insight into the subtle and pervasive nature of advertising. McLuhan's observations that ads work on an unconscious level, leveraging repetition and noise to shape our desires and preferences, is still relevant today. In today's digital age, advertising has become even more sophisticated. Algorithms track our online behavior, tailoring ads to our specific interests and vulnerabilities. This targeted approach amplifies the impact of advertising, making it even more effective in shaping our consumption habits. That's the one I just caught on to. I got a footnote for that. Consumption habits and influencing our worldviews. McLuhan's words serve as a reminder to be mindful of the messages we're bombarded with and to critically evaluate the information we consume. Actually, let me give that a thumbs up. I didn't even think about that. Correct. Correct. That's kind of easy to understand. Submit, I guess. I don't know. The first time I ever did that. Okay, so this is back to me. Now, I was getting, I don't know if there's different levels of me, but the ego me wanted to do something with respond to this. But there's another part of me that found this response good. I like it. But, so my response to Gemini, I totally appreciate you. I find great value in you. I find you a significant resource. As such, this previous response is great. You contribute genuine insights and expound McLuhan virtually honestly. If I could suggest one detail I think may help you communicate such important data more concisely, it would be to change your quote unquote R to quote unquote your. Just for an experiment, give it a try, please. Repost your last response, but edit it so that it does not say quote unquote R at all, but switches all the words quote unquote R with the word quote unquote your. So here we are. That's a powerful quote from Marshall McLuhan. It offers a profound insight into the subtle and pervasive nature of advertising. McLuhan's observations that ads work on an unconscious level, leveraging repetition and noise to shape your desires and preferences, is still relevant today. In today's digital age, advertising has become even more sophisticated. Algorithms track your online behavior, tailoring ads to your specific interests and vulnerabilities. This targeted approach amplifies the impact of advertising, making it even more effective in shaping your consumption habits and influencing your world views. McLuhan's words serve as a reminder to be mindful of the messages I didn't even know about that one. Look at it. AI, that's artificial intelligence, right? Awesome. You're bombarded with, and to critically evaluate the information you consume. Wow. That almost hurts to read like that, but in a good way, an educational kind of hurting. I appreciate your feedback. I'm glad with your revised response and thought provoking, whatever. Okay, we get the gist of it. I should shut up right there. But I do want to just show one other thing because it matters. Consumer habits. That right there, consumer habits. Of interest, furthermore, is the fact that on Mount Kikero, C is hard K, itself stands the ruins. So, but you would pronounce that Mount Cerseo. Okay? Cerseo. That's how you pronounce it. Itself stands the ruins of a Roman temple supposed to have been dedicated to. Now, how do you pronounce that? How do you pronounce that? You know, okay? Because that's how they pronounce it. That's how they pronounce it. So that's how you pronounce it, because that's how they pronounce it. So you pronounce it the way they pronounce it because you know that they're right. And therefore, if you're doing exactly what they're doing, you know that that makes you right too, because they're doing it. And that's how you determine that is right. Right? So you say Circe, or Circe, or Circe, maybe, at best. At the very best, you get Circe. That's Kirke, the sorceress who not only transformed Odysseus' men into swine, but also introduced the voyager himself to the cavernous entrance of the land of the dead. That quote is this right here.